What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. I know that I'm supposed to be looking in this part of the camera, but I don't want to because it feels funny to look in that part of the camera. So y'all bear with me throughout the video, please. But in this video, I would like to talk about narcissistic manipulation and how it keeps you stuck with them. And I was just thinking how narcissists have a way of doing things that keeps you within a cycle of abuse. Even though it may not physically feel like abuse, it's still abuse at the end of the day. And it always starts with the love bombing. And that happens throughout the entire time you deal with the narcissist. And not only that, other ways that narcissists can keep you stuck is through financial abuse. Anything that has you tied to them in a financial situation. You may have a joint bank account. Both of you may have your name on a certain bill or something that you owe. And so the way a narcissist will kind of keep you stuck to them in a way is by holding it over your head. And it can be situations, well, I've known of situations where people are involved with narcissists who, well, they're in a relationship with a narc who does not allow them to know certain things that they should know about in the relationship, like bank statements. You know, they claim that I'll handle this. You know, it's like certain things that they want to do that they would pretty much, you know, they want to do it because they can control the narrative, if that makes sense. And they control the narrative by keeping you away from something, keeping you in the dark from knowing the truth, because they can be, you know, abusing funds. They can be taking more out of the account than you think they are. You know, they can be using you. They might be dipping in your portion of the money. So if you never put your eyes on the bank statements, then that's something that you will never know. You only go by whatever they tell you. So that's a way that narcissists will keep you stuck. They manipulate you into thinking that it's best that they handle that part, you know, in the relationship. Like some people say, you know, my partner, they do this and I do that, and that's how we work. Some couples are perfectly fine with a stay-at-home husband and the female works or something like that. Like, if it works for them, you know, we're good for them. But when it comes to a narcissist and manipulating their partner to control them and keep them stuck, they want them to think that, okay, well, maybe we should do it like this because it'll work out better for you. It's like they have to tell you how you should feel or how you should want to feel so that you'll be okay. And some people might say, well, that's a Stockholm syndrome. I don't really know if it's that. I just see it as manipulation. That's all, from a narcissist. And a person who stays in the situation, I just think that they just really wasn't in their right mind at the time. Just didn't really think better. You know, because one thing I don't like to hear is, well, when a person tells their story of narcissistic abuse, a lot of feedback pretty much says the same thing. They get a lot of feedback that says the same thing, like, well, why did you stay so long and stuff like that. And sometimes people don't understand that that is not something that they should be in. Like, you have to come to realize what's best for you. And some people are just not there yet. I mean, that's the only way I can put it. They just haven't come to realize that you deserve better and you shouldn't have to be treated in such a way just to say that you're in a relationship or someone loves you because they do this and that, even though you kind of feel like it's control. But in their mind, they feel like I'm doing this because I care about you. So I'm going to let them have it because they claim they care about me. It's manipulation. And it's also gaslighting. So narcissists have so many different ways to keep you stuck with them. As long as they can control you to think a certain way, then they got you. But I don't like it when people say that. Why did you stay so long? That's why, because I didn't know any better. There's no other way to put it. And once I woke up and realized what was best for me is when I got out and I was able to tell my story. Now, when you're dealing with the narcissist in the workplace, which I am all too familiar with, the narcissist can manipulate certain people. And some people, they can't pull a fast one on them. And they know the ones who they can't do it to. So it's like they got to separate the two in order to divide and conquer. So what they do is kind of attach themselves to those who they can manipulate in order to control them. See, first they have to create a false narrative to certain people. And they always are in a leadership position, the higher ups, the supervisors and managers, that your regular employees, who's are, the ones who are narcissistic and very toxic and controlling, they need things to go in a order for them. So how it works for them is by, being the kiss up at work and being the one who has to constantly go back and report every single thing they do, things that they've heard, what they've seen, and document. They need to be the ears and eyes, for the person who's above them, so that they can keep the manipulative position in the workplace. And a lot of times this happens in an open workspace area type jobs, because that keeps them on their feet. That gives them something to do aside from what the main focus should be, which is their job and their job only. They love to get out of their lane and go into places where they don't belong, worry about things that doesn't have anything to do with them. They make it their business because that gives them life, to know that I have a job. It's my duty to do this, when they really call themselves to do it, so that they can stay, in a position to kind of supervise. And they are not supervisors. They're not even in a supervisor position. They don't get a supervisor's pay. They're in a basic entry level position, but they have such huge egos, so they feel like I'm bigger and I'm better than that, and I can do whatever I want to do. That's the attitude the narcissists have in the workplace. And when they are able to manipulate those who are in charge and in a higher rank than them, they will. Those are the tactics that they use in order to fit themselves in a position needed to stay in control of others in the workplace. It becomes a very toxic environment to be a part of. And some people might say, well, why would you stay? Again, when people question or just make statements that they really don't think about before they let it come out of their mouth. Why would you stay at a job like that? Oh, I couldn't see myself in a position, like that. I couldn't deal with that. They're not dealing with it. People don't want to deal with it. And it all depends on the individual and their personal employee situation. You don't know. Like, for example, with my job, I've done so many videos. I've done so much content on narc abuse in the workplace. But what people don't understand is I got 2 more years under my belt now before I'm able to retire out of the system that I do not feel like I have wasted my time, and it's going to benefit me in the end, even though I went through so much. I have a story to tell. I could write a book on it. The thing about it is, if it was something a system that I just come into, just fresh on a job a few months or so, then hell yeah, I would have left. But I have way more years behind me than I have ahead of me. God say the same, I get out in the next 2 years with a early retirement if I want to. I could even go into a drop program And I'm not getting into all the details of that, but it'll really benefit me even more so financial wise. So people's situations are different and their reasons are different pertaining to why would you stay on a job in such a toxic environment dealing with narcissists. It's not just that easy to just say, I'm just going to quit. Like, if you're in a system and in so many departments that I'm qualified to work in, they're all like that. You're going to run, like, you cannot escape it. You just can't. And you can run into narc, like, they're everywhere, all over the world, in every workplace, every home, every school, everywhere. They're at the gas station right now. They're in the grocery store. How you gonna escape? Like, you're gonna run into toxic individuals. Some just happen to work with some. Some, like myself, has worked with some over 20-something years. Yes. And like I say, I got a story to tell and a book I can write about it if I want to. I could benefit off of it if I want to. Like, it's gonna benefit me in the end regardless. You stay stuck in a narcissistic relationship with your toxic, manipulative partner because of how long they have brainwashed you to believe certain things and to think a certain way. And that's not something that's easy to break away from. Like, it's a mindset that you have to, get away from. And it doesn't just happen overnight. It takes self-awareness. It starts with self-awareness. It starts with a plan and how you're going to move forward, away from the situation. But it doesn't just happen just like that for nobody. So that's how they keep you stuck. And again, it happens financially because they want you to depend on them. And once a person know that they can get you to depend on them, they know they have like a mighty strong, they have a mighty strong hold on you. They know that they can control you money-wise. They know they can. And that's because, see, it has a lot to do with your security. Like, if you're an insecure person because they have weakened you to believe you can't do it without me, you shouldn't try to do it on your own. You're going to fail. That's not how that goes. It's not going to work out like that. You should be afraid. You need to watch that. There's so many people out there that's going to try to harm you and use you and take away from you. You're going to find yourself in a bad situation. And then you're just going to be like, well, he told me so. A person that has been brainwashed to think that way and believe that way, they stay stuck for the longest time with someone who's in total control of the finances. And another thing is dealing with the breakups. When you do think about, maybe there's something better for me, I just want to give it a try. But it's not something you're ready to jump into. And then some people, it is the Stockholm Syndrome where you have a little sympathy for your abuser. And it's like, I was just thinking, just a hypothetical thought. What they'll do is like try to hold something over your head to keep you there in that position, to stay in that box and be controlled. Again, they will fearmonger you and, try to warn you why you shouldn't think that way, because if you do so, that this will happen. And if you push forward, they will probably threaten you with other things to try to hurt you. Narcissists are known for separating you and isolating you from your family. And then once you do so, you've stayed away from family for so long till they just kind of wash their hands of you. And you're not thinking about, dang, I'm going to need them in the long run. You're not thinking ahead. You're not there yet. It hasn't dawned on you that you deserve better. And you shouldn't be stuck in this toxic situation with this person who's using you and who's mind controlling you. And they have abused you for so long. And abuse doesn't always mean physical abuse, but it's still abuse, And they will threaten you that if you go out there and try to start all over on your own, what are you going to start with? What do you have? You have nothing. You only have me. That's a bad idea. You shouldn't think like that. And then they're going to try to make you think that you're ungrateful for them. You know, like if they done so much for you, you know, you're ungrateful to think that way. I can't believe that you would just up and leave. You know, what type of person even thinks about something like that when you've been with someone who's been nothing but good to you, you know, and you're thinking like, you've been this good, you know, it'll make you have second thoughts on, you know, deciding to leave because they're making you think that you're doing, you know, a bad thing. You're leaving me. That's what they want to hold against you. You know, they just want you to think about you're doing something that's going to hurt them. And that'll kind of hold you back. That'll take your mind off of it if they can make you believe that you're making a bad decision. So there are many ways that narcissists can manipulate you to keep you stuck. You know, and you're never going to know until it comes to you, until it's in your spirit that there's something better for you and you should step out on faith and give it a try. But again, it takes self-awareness. And, you know, God won't show, he won't keep showing you certain things if it's not meant for you to step out on faith and just take a chance at being free from that bondage of captivity, being in this toxic situation with this person who's been holding you back. You know, and once you're free and you see what all you've been missing out on, you know, you won't even be thinking about looking back. You'll be so far removed from them that you're only looking at going further and thriving and just having a happy life away from the narcissist. So that concludes this video. Thank y'all for watching. Leave your thoughts down below. Like, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you soon.